Scarlet is returning in a brand new Living Story update coming October 1st. I'm Burden.
I'm Gary.
No, you're not. You're Saris. And this is your GW2DAILY. Alright, so Scarlet is returning in the Living Story on October 1st, and they are introducing her in a new, or not in a new dungeon, but in a new level 80 path of Twilight Arbor. And actually, we had predicted, when we were doing the Crown Pavilion, that they would actually introduce her into a new dungeon and kind of include that into one of the dungeon revamps, but we had guessed that it would be Codicus's Manor because she was trying to kill the queen, so you assume that she would kind of stay close by, but apparently it's going to be Twilight Arbor. They don't really say anything about revamping the dungeon, though. They're just doing a new level 80 path in Twilight Arbor for Scarlet. Do you think they're going to end up changing some of the other paths?
Good thing that they would change one in the past, because like at the moment they're about to change some of the actual dungeon itself, so it's the perfect opportunity to change other things in it at the same time.
Well, what do you think about Twilight Arbor overall, like the state it's in right now? I honestly, when I think about all the dungeons, Twilight Arbor doesn't seem to be too deviating too far away from Guild Wars 2 like the other ones are, like Codicus's Manor. I think that's why we guessed Codicus's Manor, because we really wanted to see that changed. But what do you think of Twilight Arbor overall?
Can't really say, because my rampant racism against Selvari.
just let it go, sirs. Just let it go.
Can't do it. With Twilight Arbor, it's a pretty decent dungeon. Here some of the other paths are pretty bad. I haven't really felt that they were that bad when I've done them myself, but other than that, yeah, it's a lot better than, say, Cordicus Manor. That place is terrible.
Well, hopefully we'll see, some changes in Twilight Arbor. Like you said, it would be kind of strange that they're going to introduce this new path into TA and not do anything about the other paths, so it would be nice to see a few changes. So along with the new level 80 Twilight Arbor path, which is kind of cool when you read it. I mean, they don't give you too much information, but they say you're going to have to take out guards and puzzle your way through tricks and traps. And one thing I know about Guild Wars 2 is they're really good at doing puzzles, like the guild puzzles for the guild missions. I mean, they're just so much fun. So hopefully it could be on the same level of those. What do you think?
It's fantastic. I have loved the guild puzzles themselves. So if they put anything near that kind of quality into the dungeon, the revamp of TA, then it should be good.
But I mean, they're really good at making guild puzzles. I mean, I have a lot of fun with it. I think the puzzles overall just kind of, they cater towards just Guild Wars 2 style of play, really. So hopefully they do well. I'm actually really excited for it. I mean, any dungeon revamp I'm excited for. When we did the anniversary video, we've been really, really hard on ArenaNet about how the explorable dungeons came out. How it just kind of felt like they didn't really belong in the Guild Wars 2 universe. So anytime they're gonna do some sort of revamp, I like. What do you think about them making it level 80? Like it's this new level 80 path for Twilight Arbor. Do you think they should have put that level 80 on there?
I think they kind of had to, because if they're involving Scarlet in it, then it's it means it's after you've killed Zaitan and everything, because it's where the Living Story takes place. So if you had it on the same level as earlier on, and then you did that, if there was any hints of whatever had happened before coming in, then it would kind of confuse everything a bit.
Oh yeah,
if you know what I mean.
I see your point. If you did explorable mode in Twilight Arbor, and you did the Scarlet path at level 55, I can see what you're saying. But does that mean? I mean, that just means that if you're not level 80, you're not going to do it. Do you think that they'll probably do some sort of, like the fractals or the Super Adventure Box where they bump you up to level 80 when you enter?
They might do it. Probably won't. I mean, it's not that hard to get to 80 these days. It's really easy. So
I just wonder
really
what the
see point in having to for them to have to do it. It'd be nice to include like all the lower level people, but it's so easy to get to 80. I mean, so easy.
Well, apart from them introducing a new path, there's also, of course, going to be the new achievement rewards. There's a new back item for the Scarlet for the new path, and also they're taking the nightmare weapons. They're changing the color and they're making it blue. They're making a new set that's blue. They're still going to be the nightmare. The original one says like a fuchsia color, but I think that's a good idea because there are a couple of nightmare weapons I actually like, but it's like when you put such a strong color on it, I don't think many people actually want to use it. So I think they should do this with not just the nightmare set. I think there's quite a few sets that could benefit from something like this.
You also forgot to mention they're giving it the blue as a glow as well to it.
Ooh, glows.
I kind of hate those weapons, so I'm not going to be getting one.
But that's just because you're racist against Alvari. You want to see him burn.
Yep.
And apart from that, there's also going to be these. This time's kind of interesting. I wonder how it's going to work out. But there's Aether chests, so you collect Aether key pieces around Maguma Jungle, and then if you get 5 of them, there are chests inside of this new path that they're putting in, and you'll be able to unlock stuff. I wonder what they're going to put in there, but that sounds kind of interesting.
Yeah, the Aether chests are should be a good thing. In the dungeon, it means that you've got something outside of the dungeon to bring it to it. So beforehand, you can go and go find all the keys, all the parts of the keys, however you're going to do it, and then bring that in to the dungeon, and then get some extra rewards for just doing that little bit of extra work.
I really like how all of these living stories lately are really pushing people out into the world and doing things, and that's one thing I really love about the living story, because in a lot of MMOs you see the you go through the world leveling, but after you get to max level, then you really don't care about the world anymore. I think especially with their down leveling system, like it just really works very well to put more content in the world. So now we're gonna be not only going through this new dungeon, where in other MMOs that would just be it. They would introduce a new dungeon or a new raid, and you would just get to go do that, but there's no reason to go out into the world. But they're introducing these keys, which are also incentivizing you to go out into the world, not just this new dungeon. I think it was a pretty good idea. But anyway, we don't really have too much information. We can only speculate a little bit. But I mean, any dungeon revamp is a good dungeon revamp. Like, I know a lot of people complain about AC, but I think overall the whole dungeon revamp was good. They just added that really annoying knockdown to the Skelks. But overall, I thought the revamp was okay. So, I don't know. I'm really excited. How about you, man?
I'm on the fence. Could be good, but I don't want to hold my breath for it. I don't want to actually see it for myself. So I just got the ore into it, so I'm not just like too hyped and then get disappointed or underhyped and just be like, oh yeah, sure, whatever.
Well, I guess for me it's just they've been on a roll with the living story. They've just been, I know some might disagree, but I just feel like they've been nailing it every time. Like the whole Tequatl thing, some people might say it's too challenging, but I mean for the boss week it's really good. It gives you a nice good challenge. I just hope they change it after the boss week's over. But you also look at the Clockwork Chaos. That was fun. It got people out in the world working together to close the portals, and it gives you good loot. Just getting people out into the world, and I just think the content overall in the living stories has been really good. We don't have too much information on it yet, so we can only speculate and think of what they might actually do. I'm excited for the puzzle part because I think they do puzzles really well in this game.